stuff for the usual source for all things Everton. And just Parson, I'm here today to do the match reaction from our 2-0 loss at home to Nottingham Forest today. Yeah, a tough one to take in many ways. Everton didn't play well, didn't deserve anything from the game. You know, some strange decisions from the manager, some poor performances on the field. And yeah, it was about as toothless as I've ever seen an Everton team in terms of creating so little, forcing the goalie into one save right at the end of the game, which wasn't even like a huge chance. It was, you know, a header from a ball into the box, and that was it. Yeah, Everton didn't play well at all today, as far as I'm concerned. Gave them too many chances. They didn't have loads. They had, you know, probably three or four moments where they also got through and had opportunities, but Everton just had absolutely nothing today, and difficult to watch. But I find that obviously the Forest connection is quite interesting because they were down there with us last season. They had the points deduction as well, obviously a much smaller one than ours. They were able to stay up relatively comfortably in the end. Obviously the bottom three is always typically poor, but last season it was particularly bad. So we both stayed up, and then you go back sort of 6-8 weeks and people are saying, well, you know, Forest are up there because their manager, you know, is someone who is looked up this whole time. He's not been talking about relegation, he's not been talking about that, he's not been thinking about relegation, and that's why they're up there. And I just totally disagree with it. I think it's disingenuous to say that the reason why Everton are down here is because their manager knows they're in the dogfight and all this, but Forest don't. It's just, I just don't get it at all. Look, Everton are not a good attacking team. They don't have great attacking players. They have a striker who barely scores. They've got two right wingers who've done nothing all season. Decore has to play in the middle because Everton don't have enough structural kind of soundness to operate without him there, seemingly. You know, we did the start of the season, we were getting absolutely ran through, conceding, 13 goals in 4 games or something. You know, there we were there. So, and then obviously Dyche can't do it all on his own, and has hot and cold games and hot and cold sort of periods. The second half today didn't really do much, but obviously didn't have much help. So yeah, it's not a great attacking team in terms of personnel. They're not a great attacking team in terms of the manager. Sean Dyche is never going to be gung-ho. You know, can he create like this kind of juggernaut going forward? No. But do I think another manager comes in and makes that kind of front four, or a variation of that front four, like a really solid unit? No, I don't. I look at Forest today, and obviously I know they had a couple of injuries, but you know, Everton wanted Morgan Gibbs-White. Kevin Fell, obviously with his Wolves connections, really was keen to bring him in. Didn't happen. They wanted Anthony Elanga, didn't happen. You know, that looked like that was really going to happen as well. I thought Gibbs-White always seemed a bit of a pipe dream, but Elanga looked like that was definitely gonna work out, and it didn't. And you know, Gibbs-White's been very good since he's been there. He would help us massively. Elanga's kind of really come into form now. Hasn't been brilliant kind of before that, but you know, winger with pace and kind of that power, and he's an intelligent player as well, as far as I can see. That would go a long way to helping Everton, particularly if they have both of those players, and the front four goes into a much better position. And then obviously you kind of, not negates the fact, but it makes it easier to be a better attacking side. Everton are a really poor attacking team, and you saw that for everyone to see there. But yeah, I think going into the game, a lot of people were saying that this is a match Everton had to win, and I didn't really get it. You know, Forest are doing really well. They're a really good team away from home. They're in a great run of form. I think it's 5 wins in a row now for them. They've got a striker who's scoring goals. I think it's 12 or 13 goals for Chris Wood this season. The first one, the goal he scored today was absolutely terrific. I've not seen it back, but really good move and unbelievable finish. And I think it's a case that Everton's team and squad, it's not just the 11, it's the squad, and that's something that I feel like I need to kind of really mention, because Everton's bench every week is really not good. It's not great. Everton don't have any depth, and when they have a couple of injuries, especially the sort of key areas of the field, the bench over the last few years has been a disaster. The squad has been just massively stripped of quality. Whether it be Iwobi, whether it be Anthony Gordon, whether it be Amadou Onana, when it wasn't kind of in the perfect 11 Everton last season, but he would have played minutes this season without question. That's where Everton are right now, and obviously Forest lost a lot of players a few years ago, but they've been able to bring in nearly 60 players to replace them and kind of cherry picked the best ones, the ones that have worked. And looking at it, and you're seeing Morgan Gibbs White flourishing, Alanga doing really well. Cam Hudson didn't play today, but doing really well there. Milenkovic is brilliant. Murillo is really good again, didn't play today, but Olorena on a free, really good bit of business. That's worked out really nicely for them. It's Everton have got to kind of live in this area where, and I've been talking about this all week, but where whenever Everton play a game, you take 5 or 6 players from the other team's 11, and they probably take a couple of hours. That's kind of how it works, and it's hard to compete there, but obviously that's kind of where we are at the minute, and we just got to kind of make it work. So yeah, really difficult. But in terms of the actual game itself, obviously Broja came in. I was saying last night to a friend that I'm worried if he plays, because he's getting compilations on Twitter for doing a couple of things in a game when he comes on. And yeah, it's nice, I get it. Against Wolves, he ran them ragged 2 or 3 times. That's brilliant. But we're 4-0 up. He's just come back from injury, his tail's up a little bit, their tails are down. And he's picked the ball up and ran into open space. Wasn't going to get that today. And the only time he did, he got tackled by Alanga. So I fell for him a little bit because we needed to adjust the game plan. He's not got the spring of a Dyche. He's not going to be able to compete with Milenkovic in the air. And when it was Morata as well, he's obviously not quite as kind of early dominant as Milenkovic. He was still getting kind of ousted in the air. He was okay in wide areas, but we need him in the box. We don't have nothing in the area, because then you're crossing the ball to Dyche or Lindstrom, who are obviously not going to do much either. It's difficult. It's difficult, and I can't see why Broja played today. A lot of people are whinging about Calvert-Lewin, and I get it. He's gone for a really dry spell at the minute, but also the link-up play's never been kind of more needed in a team, where you're trying to be structurally solid, trying to be defensive and trying to keep goals out, but obviously you need to get forward and score, especially when you go a goal down. So yeah, wouldn't have agreed with that. Wouldn't agree with Jack Harrison playing his first 45 minutes before he also got taken off. He was really, really poor, unfortunately. And then, yeah, obviously in the game we'd had nothing. And then the ball goes forward to Wood. He gets to Alanga, nice ball back. And then Wood obviously dinks Pickford, great finish. I'm not saying as much Everton could have done about the goal itself, but in terms of the rhythm of the game, they could have done more. We had nothing from there on to kind of get back level. Lindstrom comes on, looks busy, but still yet to do anything. We're halfway through the season now, and the likes of Harrison, Lindstrom, Decore, they've not had moments yet where they've positively contributed to the team scoring a goal or whatever it might be, which is really difficult, because Harrison did all right last year in terms of his contribution once he got back from injury. So that's where I kind of give the manager a bit of slack, because the attacking options aren't great, and when they're not, when they're performing like they have been, Lindstrom's gone 64 games now without a goal. That's not what you want to hear when you're trying to build a team, and when you're not kind of the most efficient attacking coach. You need players to step up, and Everton haven't had anyone steps up apart from Iliman and Dyer again. Can't do it all on his own. So then goes to 2-0, Decore, plays the ball back to Mikalenko. From where I looked, it looked like Mikalenko should have just came and took everything and got rid of the ball. He doesn't. Tarkovsky's in there as well. And then eventually gets to Gibbs White, and he finishes. Nothing Pickford could do there. And that was game over. They brought on Willy Bolly as soon as he brought on Calvert-Lewin. Don't mind him and Broja as a partnership, but again, you then worry, is that going to leave us open through the middle? What are the repercussions there? The likes of Mikalenko, I mean, again, I don't want to keep picking on him, but he has had a real tough six weeks or so. Everton desperately need a left back. Everton desperately need a right back. They need a player who can cross the ball from outside the area out wide, who isn't Dwight McNeil, because when you go 2 goals down to Forest, they're going to pack the box and let you swing the ball in, because you've got Milenkovic and Bolly there who'll head anything. So you really need someone who can put it on a dime onto a Beto or a Broja or a DCL. Didn't have that. It's difficult to watch. And again, I don't think there should be any meltdown about Everton losing this game. They've lost to a team who was second place in the Premier League now. But the manner of performance is really disappointing. And I say, I think players and manager alike have really got to look at that and work on something and work it out, because Everton will need to score some goals to stay up. They can't just draw their way and get the odd 1-0 here and there. They will need to work on some patterns of play and show that they are kind of looking to get the ball into the back of the net. It'll be better when McNeil's there, of course, but if we can bring a couple of bodies in January, that would be super, super helpful. But yeah, really disappointing day at the office. Obviously, hopefully, one that we can learn from and move on from, because as I say, it's not a disastrous result. Forest are playing really well at the minute. There's a lot of factors that go into that. It's not just the manager, it's not just one player. It's, you know, a team who've signed 60 odd players and can now build a decent team out that, surprisingly. Everton have been in an era of austerity for 3 or 4 years now, and that, you know, it pays the price. So yeah, hopefully learn from it, move on, and hopefully get a result against Bournemouth next time. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who do you think was playing well for us today, who maybe didn't quite play so well, and your thoughts on the game as a whole. Nice one.